TV land. It's ya boy, Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. How are you all doing on this fine and wonderful, glorious Wednesday pre-Thanksgiving day afternoon? Ooh, I hope you all are saving room, making sure you got nice empty bellies for the infusion of meats and carbohydrates and sugars that I'm sure many of you, well, I say many, but that would imply that there are many viewers, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure that many of you will be imbibing tomorrow. I certainly hope you're imbibing it, because, well, Thanksgiving only comes once a year, and I imagine most people don't get to have the turkey and the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the gravy and the pumpkin pie and the biscuits that often during the year. Man, just saying that makes me hungry. Unfortunately, Thanksgiving does not fall on a cheat day, so that's out of the option plan for Freelancer Joe. The price I pay for looking this good. And it's just as well. Still recovering from that pizza I had on Friday, so... Well, technically, I'm actually pretty much where I was at last week. So it's not that I've really taken a step back, but I haven't really taken a step forward. It's very disappointing to think that basically, for me personally, removing dietary restraints for a 24-hour period requires, what is it? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days of, well, not just dietary restraint, but, oh, look at that. Look at that. Why you do this to me? Why you do this to me, cheese? But yeah, it takes me 4 days of not only dietary restraint, but dietary restriction. And yeah, well, punishment. I call it punishment. Because it's, oh, come on. Come on. Oh, yeah, it's gonna do me like that. That's, wow. Okay. Un escape. Let's see. Let's go ahead and open up some other things while cheese decides to... Oh, you know, maybe I can kill it. There we go. The good old kill command. A lot harder to do that on Windows. I mean, you gotta bring up Task Manager and hope you're killing the right process. But what was I talking about? Well, let's go ahead and lower the resolution and minimize myself, since we're already in the process of doing that. Oh yeah, I was talking about the efforts I go through to make myself look as good as I do. I know I make it look easy. I hope my voice is projecting. I'm somewhat concerned that I am not projecting enough. No, that's not that thing, but projecting. Let me see. Fortunately, I guess, I mean, I was a little concerned because I thought today I was going to have lunch with my boss for my annual review, but actually I think I was supposed to, but we kind of missed each other. So, but then again, yesterday he said Wednesday, which is today. Normally, if people mean next Wednesday, they will preface that next Wednesday with next, you know, for next Wednesday. So I don't know, but it's just as well, because I'm certain that if I did have that lunch, then I would have taken that physical step back as opposed to the step forward. All right, so we're bringing this up, down. Okay. All right, and we're gonna bring up Firefox. Ooh. Oh, but I imagine for those of you who are doing Turkey Day correctly, you're probably doing a lot of preparations today. There is something nice about spending all day cooking. Believe it or not, even the pre-day preparation, because then it kind of builds up the anticipation, and then the smells filling the house, and oh, it's all good stuff. And yet something that only a fraction of people in this world have ever experienced. Just because of not having the fortune of being born in the United States. Then again, there are times when even those in the U.S. were probably not so fortunate. Great Depression, for one thing, a prime example. Obviously, back when the country was still being founded, big problem. But then again, they didn't have as much processed foods either, so it probably tasted a lot better also. And of course, they drink all the time, so, that makes things a lot better. Alright, so what are we doing? I believe we had set up the API gateway. Well, we had done the Lambda, and then we set up the gateway. And then we had the gateway talking to the Lambda. I think that's where we left off. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's double check that. Let's bring up the gateway. And while that's coming up, let's go ahead and open up the Lambda. And then we go to the gateway. Calendar demo API. So what were the final issues I worked through? Let me see. One was the malformed response. And in order to fix that, I had to return a JSON object as opposed to a string. So that was that. And then the missing authentication token, that's because I wasn't actually accessing the endpoint. So that was that. So that's all good. So what are we working on now then? I believe we're supposed to be working on beefing up the Lambda. Because I had parameter validation before, but that was assuming it was passed in the request body. But since this is a GET, it's just going to be part of the query string. So if we pass in the correct parameter, or a parameter, correctly, 10, and execute, we should see results. Right, query success, the manual event. However, if we don't pass anything in, we get internal server error, and we don't want that. We want it to basically pass back a message saying, hey, you're missing parameters. So let us beef up the free calendar demo code. Let's take a look at the code. Now I already had, I think, the basic validation. I was just looking in the wrong place. Right. So this was it originally. It was basically saying event.event month index, but really event is now in an attribute called, or the values I'm passing, the parameters I'm passing, should be in the query strings attribute of event, as opposed to, it's basically nested one bit deeper. Okay, all right. So we need to make sure that table name exists. That's fine. And then we need to make sure that event.event month index, or this exists. So that's good. And if that value is greater than or equal to 0, which would equate to January, but it also has to be less than or equal to 11, which equates to December. Then we go ahead and set the response code to 200, and we use that particular value. No, we have to do the number conversion. I should validate if it's a number. Actually, I should probably validate if it's a number first. I always get confused on the best approach for the number conversion. JavaScript to integer, %. Yeah, I mean, this is what I looked at before. But what happens when it's not a number? Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Basically, I want it to be a nan if it's a not valid value. So the correct order is we make sure that it exists. We're going to have to nest that even more. All right. Okay, so if it exists, let temp event month index equal number of this parameter. Okay, now if that temp month event month index darn it, how do I say if it's nan? JavaScript, I think I can just do is nan. Yeah, is nan. So I want if not is nan. If not is nan. So basically, if it is a number, and temp event month index is less than or equal to 0, and that's not a and. Temp event month index is greater than or equal to 1. It almost feels like there should be a more concise way of doing it. There's definitely a more performant way of doing it, of that I'm certain. I've seen discussions on the internet about the most efficient way of doing it, and they go into some really low-level stuff, which is kind of like, oh, for me anyway. So if it passes that check, right, then we'll set the response code to, then is valid, tab, response code equals 200, and event month index is going to equal temp event month index. Now, why did I bother making this variable, temp event month index? Mostly because I didn't want to have to keep writing out or copying this block of text. Maybe there's a performant reason about that too, but for me, it's just because I'm lazy. Now, this is interesting. So I have this here to indicate what I'm expecting in the request body, but this particular parameter is not in the event body. So how should I indicate this? Request body, no, and I guess I'll just do it like that. Equals integer. And there's nothing in here. Alright, so let's save it. Now we're going to test this again. Let's test to see how it takes. Event month index equals 11, so let 10. Let's make sure it still works. Nope, internal server error. And I'm probably not going to see an error here. Oh, really? Made a typo? That matches up. Grr. Let's try that again. This is why you should pay attention to your IDE. Oh, really? You're complaining about that? Oh, really? You don't like this? What don't you like about this? Is nan is not defined. Oh. Alright. That should work. For those of you froze again, you're killing me, cheese. Killing me. I don't want to deprive you of my wondrous visage. Yes. Yes, yes. There we go. Always on top. And for those of you who are wondering, what is NaN? N-A-N, not a number. Yeah, not a number. Alright, so that's saved. So now, let's run it again. Let's see if we get results. Missing fields. Oh, interesting. I'm almost certain it was working before. That was where I was getting it from before, right? Oh, maybe I wanted, I wonder where it's failing. Maybe I wanted JavaScript is number, actually. Is numeric. And maybe there's is integer. Yeah, number is integer. Yeah. That's probably better. There's so many ways to do it. Okay, let's try that. If number dot is, really, you don't have an integer? Or do you? I'm trying to figure out where it's bombing out. If the table name and the event query string parameters event month index, that was the parameter I passed in, right? Event month index. Let me see. Get query string parameters event month. Query string parameters. That's what I typed, right? Query string parameters. Okay. If number is integer, temp event month index, and temp event is less than or equal to 0. Nah, nerds. Got that messed up. Greater than or equal to 0. And less than or equal to 11. It's got to be between those two values. That'll do it. There we go. Alright, so we have query success, manual event title. Okay, so now let's pass in 12. That's going to say missing fields as opposed to invalid fields, but whatever. Missing fields. If I don't specify a value, it should still say missing fields. Ooh, message, internal server error. This is because I bet you it's because I removed that is nan check on. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. Basically, it's trying to check if nan is. Nope, nope. Trying to check if nan is a number, which it does not like. That's my guess. Is no, no, nope, nope. Not is nan temp event month index, and if temp event month index is an integer, and if it's between those values. So basically what well, let's see if that works. No, still bombing. Actually, you know what? I can probably test it here. Cannot read property event month index of undefined. That would explain that. Because I haven't figured out how to pass in. It's probably something down here. No. Environment variables, no. Tag, basic settings, debugging, handling, concern, concurrency. Trying to figure out. Oh, can I do query string? Alright, let's try this. I bet you this is how I can do it. Configure. Thank you. Control V, colon, empty array. Save. Test. Alright, here we go. Missing fields. Did I misspell event month index? Did I not put event month index in the right place? Oh, because there is no event month index. Duh. And because there's no query string parameters because I didn't specify parameters. Ugh. Okay. Alright. I got it. Maybe I do. I don't know. Alright. So if we have a table name specified, and if we have query string parameters, and if we have a query string parameter called event month index, then we're going to go ahead and try to convert that parameter to a number, and if it is a number, and if that number is an integer, and if that number lies between 0 and 11, then we're good. Lots of little things. I'm sure there's some boilerplate whatever that. Missing fields. Alright, that's solid. Event month index equals, let's try -1. It's going to say missing fields. Alright. 12 should say missing fields. And 11 should give me one event. Query success, the other manual event. Whoa, awesome. Alright, so now that we have this all set up and configured, the one thing we want to do, Not because I don't trust Amazon. I actually trust Amazon more than I trust myself. But just for my own personal edification, we're going to back this up into Git. What was this called? Freelancer-calendar-demo. So in here, we're going to create new file, Freelancer. Did I say Freelancer Joe or Freelancer? Calendar-demo.js. Oh, I just called it Freelancer-calendar. That's not good of me. Very inconsistent. Control V, save that bad boy. Alright, Control S. Let's get the status. ls cd projects API. Get status. Git add freelancer. Oh, lambda freelancer Joe. Git push. As for my password for the key, it's push, and let's double check Git. I trust Git more than I trust myself. I think I trust it equally as much as I do Amazon. And API AWS. Let's verify that it's in there. Ooh, wait a minute. Lambda a month ago. Whoops, no. So I added the file, but I git commit -am calendar demo check-in. Git push. Alright, now if we go in here just now, and there it is. Really? Did I call that? I want to look to make sure. What did I call these things? Functions, right? Aw, I misnamed it. Man. Because that's why. Because I made that same mistake. I could go through the whole rigmarole of renaming it. Well, no, I don't think I can rename it. I think I have to recreate it. I can only delete it. Can I rename it from here? I don't think I can. Nope, doesn't look like I can rename it. So basically, I'd have to copy it. I'd have to clone it essentially with a new name, delete the old one, and then I have to make sure that the API gateway points to the new one. Whatever. Anyway, we are about at the 30-minute mark, so no point in diving into anything new. And on the plus side, I mean, we have now. We got my Lambda. We've got it integrated to the gateway. The gateway is exposed to the internet. So now all I have to do is get my demo UI talking to the gateway endpoint. And so that's what we're going to do tomorrow. Well, it's going to be an initial talking to. And then we have to do some additional tweaking because we'll have to specify the actual month. And that's going to be a little bit of work. As well as when the user changes months, we'll have to do another query. But we should be all set up for it, at least on the back end side of things. So I'm going to wrap it up for now. Thank you for joining me. Cool kid words about commenting and suggesting, liking, and subscribing. Let me see if I can say it sexily. Subscribing. I hope you'll join me tomorrow, or if you don't join me tomorrow, I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and that until the next time you join me, that you take care and God bless.